Welcome back to Edgework, presented by FanDuel as part of the Hammer Betting Network. I'm Alex Moretto, joined here today by So Money. No Albert to have to deal with today as we look to break down tonight's 14-game slate, give out some best bets, answer some questions from the chat. I do apologize for no show yesterday. Had some unforeseen stuff pop up given the state of the healthcare system in Ontario. Unfortunately, nothing is quick these days. You end up spending, close to 24 hours at these hospitals and you try and get through a merge. So, we are back today. Everything's okay, though, and we're back today ready for a big night. And honestly, maybe for the best that we did not have a show last night, because I don't know about you, but, you're a big Sens guy. I was part of that early Nashville money. If you're going to be on Nashville, bet them early. I did bet them early, and I was on the wrong side. So did you wait for the Nashville money to come in and buy back on the Sens, or how did you play that one?
Yeah, I was on the Sens yesterday. I waited a bit, and got it's easy to look back in hindsight, but I just I'm high on the Senators, and if you're gonna give me money like that, I'm gonna bet the Senators. It's just I just come in higher on them.
Yeah, fair enough. We do have a lot of games to get to today. I just am trying to somewhat react to this news and figure out what's happening here. But no Tage Thompson on the ice for the Sabres morning skate, and they recalled Isaac Rosen. So I'm assuming that means Thompson is not going to be playing tonight.
Yeah.
And has the market reacted at all yet? It has not. Okay. We can honestly. Do you want to just jump right into that game right off the bat? Are you getting anything with this news? Are you getting involved here with Columbus or what?
It's still really tough. It's not a good situation for Columbus here. I think that Buffalo has been playing well. Mm-hmm. Let's see where this line goes. Even right now, without Tage Thompson, assuming he's out, I'm still not there at the current number. And Charles just mentioned in the chat too, Marchenko's a big deal, right?
Marchenko's huge loss.
Yeah, they're gonna have Ken Johnson up there on the first line, but that kind of depletes their depth in the middle sixes. In the middle nine as well, in the middle six as well. So, I'm not there yet. Gonna sit this one out. Interested to see where the line goes. Even without Tage, it's just a tough spot for Columbus here.
It's tough because Marchenko matters so much for this Columbus team, and I honestly I can't. It's hard to put into perspective just how significant he's been for them. At 5-on-5, he has been their best forward by a landslide this season. I'm Monahan too, who's also out. Monahan's right there with them, but it's basically just Marchenko who leads the team in fewest goals against per 60 at 5-on-5, and just him and Monahan are the only two players that have been on the ice for more than 4 goals for per 60 minutes this year. So he's just been unbelievable. But Tage has also been unbelievable for the Sabres lately. So it's he matters equally as much. It's really tough to honestly know what you're going to get from either of these teams missing their best players.
And look at what Rich just wrote in the chat too, right? That's the situation I'm talking about too.
Yes,
right.
Sure.
They've traveled the last 9 games. I'm interested to see if there's an over adjustment here. I'd be more interested in that.
Into getting on Buffalo at a cheap price. Yeah. It also makes me want to look at the under a little bit here too, just given the offense that you're missing if Marchenko and Thompson aren't out there. But also to their credit, both those guys do help on the defensive side of things as well. Okay, so nothing there for this game for now. We'll see how the market reacts, or if the market reacts much to that news. We will get into the rest of the games today. Before we do, in case anyone's forgotten, because it has been 3 days since our last show. That is the most amount of days it's been in a while since we've had a show. The NHL is heating up, and FanDuel is bringing you more action than ever because everyone knows hockey just hits different. Load up power play with the hottest same-game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking, or bet on the fly with the Pulse. The hunt for the cup starts here. Get more from the NHL with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can kick off the season with $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Please play responsibly, must be 19 plus and physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem, call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600 or visit connectsontario.ca. God, comments in the chat. We're just going to ignore it. Thanks for the view, though, Albert. We do appreciate it.
He's here. Oh man,
we don't have time to get into that trade. Just way too many games to get to today, and I frankly just don't want to give the Rangers any. I mean, there's 14 games tonight, and the Rangers are not involved in one of them. So the fact that we even said their name a few times here, that's on me. That is the first and last time. We will start today with a game that I do have a bet on. Well, I guess we technically started with the Sabres game, but we'll start the rest of these games here with the game that I do have a bet on, and that is this Florida-Washington game. Caps on FanDuel -102, Panthers -118, a total of 5.5, -118 to the over, -104 to the under. So Money, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one, but FanDuel is a sharp number here, in my opinion, shaded a little bit more towards Washington than the rest of the market. Where at the rest of the market, you can get plus money here on these caps, up to plus 106 from what I'm seeing. Charles says we are all Panthers. I am not a Panther in this game. I am going back to the well, even though I did bet the Caps on Saturday and was made to regret it a little bit. Not their best effort. They did end up getting it to overtime, but that was not they did not deserve that win. That was a deserved win for Winnipeg. I was on the wrong side of that one, I guess you could say, in hindsight, but I do want to go back to the well here. I do think this is a spot where the Caps respond. It really does just boil down to price for the most part here. Like, I do really like this Panthers team. Obviously, they're cruising, they're playing well, they're rattling off wins. The offense is really going again, but like we saw the Kings really limit the Panthers now a couple times. When they do face like defenses, they're able to, really tighten things up like Washington is able to do, like we've seen them be able to do. We've seen them be limited here. And I think Washington is still, when it boils down to it, price-wise, is not being priced as a top team in the league right now like they should. They are right up there with the best teams in the league. They have found their game again. I know Saturday was a little bit of a blip, but like I would expect their best effort from them here. Panthers numbers a little bit. They do dip on the road. Just honestly, it's spot and number dependent here. That's why I like the Caps with plus money. Are you in agreement, disagreement here? How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, we can make it a double best bet. I did bet the Caps. I agree with a FanDuel shading here. Plus money is widely available in the market. I think that the Capitals at plus money is the way to go. My reservation here in this game, and I may be looking too much into it, is that the last couple of games now, so a Lindgren start and a Thompson start, it hasn't been a good game for either of them in those starts. So that's something that is a slight concern. I hope it's nothing indicative of the way things are going forward, and it was just a one-off for both of them. But that's something that I'm keeping in mind here. Capitals, yeah, you're right. They didn't play well against Winnipeg, but they were right there in the end, and they were in position to steal that game, and that's what good teams do. For Florida, I agree with Charles. For the most part, I think that Florida has played better lately.
Yeah.
They have kicked it up a notch, but we have to temper that with a little bit. Look at their wins. Islanders was a good win, but that Isles team was decimated. Chicago, LA, who we know the way their form right now. Sharks, Anaheim, New Jersey, Utah, Pittsburgh. Right,
New Jersey is also really struggling too.
Yeah. So we're seeing a common theme here. Capitals, after the last couple of games here, I do expect a better effort from them. So the Panthers are definitely stepping up in class. It's going to be a great game, and like you, I can't let go of that number. I think the Capitals at plus money in a game that we should see their ceiling effort. I I wasn't able to turn away from that.
Yeah. Okay, so double best bet to start us off here on the Caps. And we're getting into another game now where I have another bet in this game. Pens at home to the Devils, total of 5.5, minus 134 to the over, plus 110 to the under on FanDuel, minus 146 the Devils, plus 122 for the Pens, which is also, in my opinion, a sharp number because there is plus 130 or better widely available here. And I like the Pens in this spot. I think they found a lot of consistency in their game for the first time all season. They're playing much better and doing so more on a regular basis, which I think is very important to see because they have been, capable of playing these good games and then they turn around the other night and come up with stinkers. But they have been a lot more consistent lately. Since the start of January, top 10 in expected goal share at 5-on-5. They have now 6 games above a 60% expected goal share there, just 3 below 40, which was a regular occurrence for them before. They are hovering right around that good range, more good games than bad as well. They've also been a lot better on home ice where they're a lot more capable of hitting the top of their range, I found. And I'm just honestly still just not a fan of this Devils team without Hischier. They have not looked good since his injury. Hughes is obviously battling something. The goaltending is inconsistent. They have really lost their mojo right now. They desperately need this Four Nations break to kind of hit the reset button. I think until then, we're not going to see the Devils that we had come to expect earlier on, or that were looking like one of the league's best teams. I think we're gonna need to wait until after the break to see that. So right now, while they're reeling, I still want to take advantage of them being priced like that top team that they are not, playing like. And I think this number with Pittsburgh plus 130 or better, which is pretty widely available, I would say for sure. I bet that and I like that. So you can lock that in unless we have some resistance from you here.
There is resistance, but it's not to the point where I will be betting the Devils. I think that where I am on the Devils right now is more of a wait and see, because I'm obviously higher on the Devils, and I do agree that they're not that their play has dipped, and that starts from the defensive end. I think that, and it's not surprising with the guys that they've lost in that lineup and the guys that are struggling with injuries. That is the backbone of their defense, both either on defense or forwards that are the backbone of their team defense. So I do agree they're struggling. Pittsburgh, I'm still not completely there. The price, I think it's fair. I do have so I will end up passing on this game. It's Pittsburgh's defense. It's still leaky. Yes, New Jersey is not as well equipped as they were a few weeks ago to take advantage of that. But I still wouldn't put Pittsburgh in the category of a team that can upset. That can trouble New Jersey to the point where I'll be betting them. So I will end up passing this game.
Yeah, fair enough. So just on the Pens there, I get that there's some resistance, and I wouldn't be surprised that the Pens have taken a bit of money this morning. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Devils take some back because the market still really does like this team. So I don't think there's necessarily a rush to get in on Pittsburgh now. You probably, can still find this number available later. Potentially you can find even better. We'll see. Next game here, Wild at the Bruins. Wild plus 112 in Boston. Bruins minus 134. Total of 5.5. Minus 118 to the over. Minus 104 to the under. Where are you in this game?
So 2 teams that I want to bet against. And it's tough to. It's tough to bet against both of them. Even with the Wild number here, it's a game I'm gonna pass. Yeah, Boston at home, slap a favorite on them. They get the home ice adjustment and just call it a day. Nothing here. I can't see any other way that this game would be lined.
Yeah, I agree. On the side, especially, I have no real interest. Honestly, though, both these teams have been giving up more chances than we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
The Boston defense really hasn't tightened up as I thought it would with McAvoy back. But the Wild are just struggling so much to generate offense that I still can't quite get on this over, even at 5.5 here. Like, the way both teams are playing defensively, I don't necessarily agree with where this total is, but also like offensively, Minnesota's so bad, and Boston still does have, both these teams still have like very elite goaltending, or goaltending that's capable of playing elite on on the right nights. So it's enough to keep me off of this total. And the side, I just really have no interest in. I think it's fine. So
Yeah, and further to Mike's point, like that's what Boston is. We've like talked about that. They're so inconsistent. I bet them on Saturday, but that was only because we got a little bit out of control here with the JT Miller bump on that number. So, and I mean, like, would it surprise anybody if like Boston laid another egg here, right? Like, so yeah, I think I agree with Mike there. They're just it's too. Both of these teams right now, they're both in situations where I would actually like to bet against both of them if I could.
some are saying there's a great opportunity to fade the Bruins tomorrow. Based on who made that comment, I think you can put together who they are playing.
Insufferable.
All right, let's move on here to the next game. Still found a way to pull it back to Rangers Talk Radio. Your Senators are in Tampa tonight, coming off that big win. Well, a big couple wins. They are cruising right now, and all signs point to Ullmark being back tonight as well as they go into Tampa to take on the Lightning, plus 146. Pretty big number for the Sens given how they're playing. Lightning minus 176, total of 5.5, minus 124 to the over, plus 102 to the under. Obviously a tough spot though, given the back-to-back with the travel and everything. And Tampa is still very good and deserves the market respect they're getting, in my opinion. Are you going back to the Sens well here, or where are you in this game?
So the only reason I'm not going to, like, the price makes sense. We know we love the Senators. The only reason is that
You say we very loosely there, but I'll let it slide.
It's Allmark's layoff, right? It's really tough to predict that, and really tough to get in front of it. Tampa Bay has been playing well, right? Even though they lost that game against the Islanders in OT, I thought that was a pretty unlucky win for them. And I do expect a much better game from Tampa Bay, especially with Ottawa right there with them now in the standings as well, or in like the top three. So yeah, I will pass this game. I do like Ottawa, but I need to make sure that Ullmark is back in his routine and back into form here. So number makes sense, but I'll ultimately end up passing on this game.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning, it is a very different situation, but Ullmark did miss a bit of time very early in the year. And when he came back, it wasn't the same amount of time that he had missed, and he hadn't played as much before that, obviously, because it was so early in the season, but he did have one of his worst starts of the season in that first game back. So definitely would tread lightly there. Ottawa's shown more consistency lately, but I still honestly, I'm not fully on board. They've been a little bit inconsistent up to about 2 weeks ago, and they have sort of found a way to string together some good performances, but we have seen this before as well from them, and then we've seen them tail off from looking like world beaters for a while again too. So I'm still hesitant to fully buy in, but gotta say right now feeling pretty wrong in my preseason take that the Senators were not to be taken too seriously, because Travis Green has them playing very good hockey right now. I'm still high on this Tampa team though. They are coasting a little bit right now, and you can tell. Playing some higher event games here and there. Honestly, could consider getting on and over at a 5.5. Just not how Ottawa wants to play, obviously, especially not on a back-to-back. They obviously want to tighten things up in front of Ullmark, but given Ullmark's long layoff and the way Tampa's kind of being comfortable dragging themselves into these back and forth games, that's the way I would lean on total, but nothing for me either way here. We'll jump ahead quickly before we get into the next game schedule-wise to an 8 o'clock game. Carolina-Winnipeg. I saw that you wanted to get to this one quick. I have a bet in this game as well. I'm not sure if we're going to be on the same side here or not, but I will let you take the lead here. Carolina-Winnipeg, Jets plus 105 on FanDuel, Hurricanes minus 126, total of 5.5, minus 105 to the over, minus 115 to the under. So Money, what do you have for us here?
I've been thinking about the Jets a lot lately, and I do want to apologize to the Jets. I've been very unfamiliar with their game. They're one of those teams that I wasn't high on coming into the season. Everything that I read about the Jets, every time I delve into into them deeper, I'm fully impressed with the attitude coming out of that camp. They all they talk about is and all they allude to is playoff last year's playoffs and the the way that they played, and everything has been geared towards making amends for that. That's a team that's on a mission in the regular season. We don't know about the playoffs still. It's we know that the playoffs is a different kind of game, but you do see these teams sometimes just they they just take it seriously, and the regular season ends up being just meaning everything to them. So I'm kicking myself a little bit that I didn't get on them earlier, but they're plus money tonight, and I do like the way that they've been playing. I do like the way Carolina has been playing for the most part too. They lost that game against the Kings. They were a little bit unlucky to lose that game. They're starting to get inconsistent goaltending again, which has been a struggle for them pretty much the whole season. And I feel that their offensive generation has been dipping a bit as well. And I think that against a finely tuned defensive machine that the Jets are, that's going to be a little bit of trouble for them. So I did bet the Jets plus money. So anything plus money, I'm on the Jets.
Yeah, that is the same way I bet this game. So we'll have another double best bet there. Look, the Jets were maybe not great in that Montreal game, but ultimately a very, very good road trip for them. And I'm just at a point here where like fully willing to succumb to this Jets team. They are a wagon. They are great at everything they do, all ends of the ice. When Hellebuck is in net, they get elite goaltending. Their defense in front of him has been fantastic, and their offense has been very consistent as well. And I just think this market is too high on this Canes team. They get so much respect, and I get it. They are a very, very good hockey team, but they are basically being priced as the best team in the NHL on a regular basis. I can't agree with it. The Jets at home. You talked about Carolina's inconsistent goaltending. That is big for me as well here. I don't like to bet against the Jets, especially at home here. And yeah, getting plus money, I think that that should not be the case. This should be a lot closer to more of a pick 'em, even slight favorites for the Jets. I know that this Carolina team is very good, but I mean, the amount of respect they're getting in comparison to what the Jets are getting is wild. When you look at how both teams have played all season and the consistency and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, double best bet on the Jets here. Not much more to add to what So Money said. We will skip back now and go to, we did the Columbus game earlier, so let's go to.
Can we do the Flyers game?
Yes, let's do the Flyers game. Flyers in Utah plus 114, minus 137 for Utah, total of 5.5, minus 114, minus 106 to the under. I am almost scared to ask you, but are you joining me on the Flyers here as well? Is that what's happening here? Are we doing a double Flyers best bet? Okay. Yeah. All right, you can take the lead here. Go for it. I've talked enough about the Flyers. I think the chat's sick of it.
Yeah, I bet on the Flyers. I wanted to get there quickly because it looks like that there's some money coming in on them. So I want to make sure that we're in the neighborhood of the numbers that I want to recommend this at. I love the Flyers. I love the way that they play. I see and I acknowledge Mike's point about the Flyers scoring. Yes, they're having a tough time scoring right now. They've been talking quite a bit about it in the Flyers camp there.
So is Utah though.
Yeah, exactly. Utah is struggling as well. So, and the Utah's another team that I have to concede that I was wrong on coming into the season. I thought that they would push for a playoff spot. They're not. They've run into the same wall that they did last year. Last year, at least, it was justified, and there was like reasoning for that with uncertainty around the franchise. This year, they just can't score, um, and um, and Vamelka as well. He's not. He we've talked about him a lot. He's got the ability um, to be outstanding, but he is struggling lately. Um, yeah, I played the Flyers. I think the number is too high. They haven't scored in like 4 weeks now, but I think that against against Utah they 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 might just score a goal here.
And they might only need one because Utah cannot score either. That's the thing that I get that there's hesitation. And I get that I have bet the Flyers like what feels like every single game lately. But this is a matchup where at least I feel like their scoring issues won't be as amplified because they're playing another team that is not going to that they're not going to need to outscore or anything. And I trust the effort that I'm going to get from them coming off those losses. And, at 5-on-5 here, especially, they are the much better team. I trust the effort I'm going to get. I think Utah is equally reeling. And it's no surprise I've been low on Utah and I bet against Utah so often. All season, really, I bet against this team a lot. Faded those market moves when the market was so strong on them early in the year. I'm just not there on Utah at all. I don't think that there's like a ton of room on this. I understand why the price is where it is. Philly is not scoring goals, and they did just trade away two guys who can score. It is an issue right now, but like this is not, I think, the matchup where that gets amplified. I think that I can expect them to be the better team here, and hopefully they're able to just get a bounce or two and break that scoring drought because this is just too big of a number at the end of the day. That's kind of what this boils down to here. So yeah, back to the Flyers. Well, I'm so sorry to those of you in the chat who are maybe scarred from this, but this is like the fifth time in the last 7 games and it generally has not gone well, but I can't quit this Flyers team. All right. Anything else you want us to jump to quickly, or are we good to get back to the regular sort of schedule here?
Yeah, we can get what's happening in that Edmonton game right now. Has there been news, or are we just randomly moving again?
I struggle since I've taken over as the host to follow news while I'm also trying to navigate the show. So it's been an adjustment. I have not seen any news, but maybe the chat can help us out with that.
Yeah, let's
keep an eye on the mark. Yeah, you want to go to the Edmonton game?
No. I don't want to go there yet. Let's go. Let's keep going. I'm gonna look at and see if we're just randomly moving again at this time, or if there's something that's come out in this game.
Okay. I will go to the Islanders game here. Maybe not the best game to go to because I don't have a ton to say about this, but I will buy you some time here with the Islanders plus 126 at home to the Knights minus 152, total of 5.5, minus 118 to the over, minus 104 to the under. And I really don't know what to do with this Islanders team at this point. Already ravaged by injuries. I thought it was going to derail them losing Dobson. It did not derail them. Then I thought, okay, well, now Dobson and Kulak are out. They're fucked. They were not fucked. They are continuing to rattle off wins. That loss to Florida the other night was still one of their better games over the last couple of weeks. They finally had their 7-game win streak come to an end. But like obviously a lot to be happy about on Long Island. And then Barzal and Mayfield get ruled out. Barzal and IR, Mayfield day to day. I mean, I don't know how much this team can absorb. We're getting to the point where the market is bought a little bit of Isles' bigger numbers up this morning. Getting as short as minus 140 on Vegas and Sunspot, which like for me, it's still a big number, but like at what point do the wheels just come off here with all these injuries? Like I haven't bet anything yet here. I don't know that I will end up on it because it is. I do think it is somewhat reflected here, obviously, in the price. Like the Isles are playing good hockey, and to be dogs of this magnitude at home, obviously, it is taking all those injuries into account. So I likely end up on nothing here, but like At what point do you think the wheels come off here for the Islanders? 1, and 2, did you find anything in that Oilers Blues game?
So for the Isles, you have to give them credit. I mean, they the way that they battled through the adversity, it's really impressive. Unfortunately, it's really tough in the NHL to sustain that kind of level when you are constantly bombarded with injuries. It's just really tough in the NHL to be doing that. And now you're adding more injuries. Another thing we've seen in this league over the years is that usually when a mid-range team goes on a winning streak, um, their losses come in bunches as well, right? So I think that this could be a situation where after the Isles lost during the last game, I think that the wheels may start falling off here a bit. It's not to say that they can't get it back or they can't make the playoffs or anything like that. I'm just looking at them short term here, and I think that they're in a tough situation. Vegas hasn't been playing particularly well the last few games, but they've also had a stretch where they played Florida, Dallas, Columbus, who's been playing a lot better as well. So I'm not running to bet the price on Vegas. I do like Vegas tonight, but again, this will be a game that I'll end up passing on as well. I do like Vegas, but it's just not a number that I'm going to rate. I'm going to bet on the road here.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, like Mike says here, just another mid-range team on a heater. We've seen that from a number of teams so far. Yeah, that's
and that's what the NHL is, right? Like at this point in the season, like I always stress this, you are who you are at this point in the season. If you go on a big run, it's going to be followed by a bunch of losses coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I completely agree. All right, sticking to the regular scheduled programming, there's a couple plays I like later on, but it looks like market's pretty stagnant here. Let's get to this Oilers game then. Oilers minus 192 now on FanDuel. Blues plus 158. Total up to 6.5 on FanDuel, plus 104 to the over, minus 128 to the under. Do you have anything you like in this game?
No, I don't. The reason I mentioned them is there was a bunch of over money in this game, and there was no news or anything, so it was just an opinion in the market, and we know the opinions that come into the market, especially around this time, that shape the market a little bit. So I am looking to bet against the move if I can, but I do need a 6.5 though. So if it keeps taking money and we move up to the 6.5 when there's no news and we're just it's not news related and it's just moving on opinion, then I would like to get that under 6.5. But so I'm just gonna wait it out a bit. Let's see if there's any more money that's coming in. But if in case I've missed it, and maybe the chat can like help us out here, but I don't see any news in that game.
Yeah, so I'm where Mike is in this one. I do think they should be slightly bigger favorites now. I think there was better chances to get in on them because they have seemed a little bit. But like it is still a big price to lay on the road in the NHL. And you know what? For me, it's that they're playing so well right now on a consistent basis. I know they lost on Saturday, but like you play that game 10 times, they probably win it like 8 times. And then I just see no dips in their game really at all. They are a well-oiled machine right now. The Blues are back to kind of reeling again, and especially even when they were playing better, they were still really struggling when they had to step up in class. Like they just have no success when they have to take on these kind of elite teams. Offense drops off a cliff, which I can understand why you'd want to get on under in that case because they really struggle to generate against these teams. Edmonton is generating so much so right now too that I feel like they can kind of name their score a little bit at this point. It's not a game that I have all that much interest in. It would take something significant move-wise on side or total for me to get involved here. All right, let's go to the next game where I do have a bet in. We have former host / producers Zach's Toronto Maple Leafs in Calgary to continue their West Coast road trip here. Leafs minus 154. Flames plus 128, total of 5.5, minus 122 to the over, plus 100 to the under. I know I'm probably a little bit lower on this Leafs team than most, so I understand if there's a little bit of resistance here. But like, I still think this is way too big of a number for the Leafs to be laying here. They're just like, their underlying numbers are still just not overly impressive. They're still struggling to get offense going at 5-on-5. Special teams have not been great. Wall's obviously been fantastic. But like, the Flames can counter with Wolf, who's also been fantastic. And the Flames obviously very good at home. They were a little bit unlucky, I thought, in their loss to the Wings the other night. You know what effort you're going to get from this Flames team as well. Can't really say the same about Toronto, especially coming off a win like they just had against Edmonton. You definitely see like intensity and effort levels sometimes dip from them coming off of those games. Just feels like a spot I want to fade the Leafs in what feels like an overreaction market-wise to that win over the Oilers the other night, getting a bigger number on the Flames here at home. I am on the Flames. How are you feeling about this one?
It's be another game that we'll have a double best bet on. I completely agree. This has all the makings of a. It was mentioned in the chat here. All the makings of a sloppy Leafs game here. And they haven't been playing well to like begin with either. So, I like the Flames. I like the way that they play at home. I hope they make the right goaltending decision here.
Yes.
Right. I'm sure they will.
I would expect them to, though. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been seeing Wolf 4 or 5 starts, and followed by Vladar game. So I would expect Wolf in net. And if he's not in net, you just eat it. But
I put the odds of him being at like 98% tonight.
Yeah,
if Vladar just started the second half of the back-to-back on Sunday, and that's it. I would be stunned if they don't pivot back to Wolf.
Yeah, so it should be Wolves net. Makes me like Calgary quite a bit here. At home, we know the kind of effort they're gonna get. There's not much for me to add. I think you touched on everything, and I do like the Flames here. Do we have an update on Marner's status here? There was some.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any updates for you. Again, it's very difficult for me to try and navigate Twitter as we're doing this, but I wanted to also ask, because I also wanted to, I didn't bet it yet, but I do like an under here as well. I think the way both teams are generating offense, it's not necessarily at a high rate. Both teams you can, I think, trust to get very, very strong goaltending, and getting 6 minus 120 still available. I don't agree. I think this should be 5.5. Pretty much across the market. I am hesitant to get on side and total same game. I have been burned by that several times before. So that is my one hesitancy here. Probably a stupid hesitancy, though. Probably not something I need to abstain from. But like, yeah, I will likely end up on the total. Honestly, I think if we can get the 6 minus 120, I think honestly, even 5.5 plus 105, plus 104 is available. Like I'm fine with that too. I'm fine to lock that in as well, unless there's any resistance from you here. So Money.
No resistance. I'm not going to be on it, but I don't disagree with it either.
Okay, so we'll lock that in as well. The dreaded side and total in the same game. Congrats to the fourth release win here. I do want to mention this quickly. How do you feel Marner felt after seeing the future cap numbers? I think that this is going to be a fascinating summer to just sit back and soak up the Toronto media, because I can't see a world at this point in which he doesn't. I'm not saying he'll get it, but in which he doesn't ask for a number that's higher than Matthews at this point. Look at the season Matthews is having, the season Marner's having, and the way the cap is going to go. I think he's going to ask for a number higher than that, and I don't see how the Leafs can give that to him, just given we talk about not paying players. You have that pecking order internally. It's tough. It becomes tougher to follow that when the cap is rising the way it's going to. But you can also see why they're going to sit there and be like, "You're insane if you think we're going to pay you more than Matthews." So I think it's going to be pretty fascinating to see how that plays out. You have anything to add on that or no?
No.
This would have been a great spot for a Zach rant.
Yeah.
R.I.P. I'm sure you guys can go find it on his Twitter page. I'm sure he'll talk about it at the Nation Network at one point. All right, let's move on to the next game here. We have the Avs at your Vancouver Canucks. Canucks, maybe one of their best games I've seen in a while the other night. Unlucky not to win. At least I didn't watch the game. I was stuck in Emerge all Sunday night, but I was following along. I saw the underlying numbers. It looked like they played very well in that Wings game. Maybe you can add a little bit of context to that one for me here. Canucks plus 112 at home to the Avs, total of 5.5. Juice a little bit to the over. What are your thoughts here?
What is that in the chat there about? Is that McDavid?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
I haven't seen anything about it though.
All right, maybe we can get some context there. Okay, but about the Canucks, yeah, you're right. They played. They were tremendous on Sunday, and it starts. Oh, okay, I get it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, but yeah, they did. They did play on Sunday. I thought they were outstanding, and it starts from their defense as well. They really shut that game down, and yeah, they were unlucky not to get the result in that game. They are playing a Colorado team right now that I'm having a tough time gauging right now because they are coming off back-to-back shutout wins, but that was against St. Louis and against Philadelphia, and we bet them against the Islanders, and they looked like shit against the Rangers, and they looked like shit before that as well. So I will pass on this game. I'll end up passing. Sorry, I got distracted because Carolina's taking money right now, so I need to know what's
Carolina always
there.
takes money.
Yeah. So
they always take money.
Yeah, so like the timing was off there on the Jets bet, but that's Colorado. I do like the under in this game. Unfortunately, we're already at 5.5, so that'll get me off of it just because I'm not sold on the Canucks goaltending lately. They have both Demko and Lankinen have shown. Obviously, Lankinen has been good the whole year for the most part. Demko has shown flashes since he's returned, but it's still difficult for me to get there. So I will end up passing on this game. Charles, their Canucks not done making moves. No, they're not done making moves.
No.
They're still.
I don't need to hear that Zegras talk anymore. We move past that. Let's move past.
Yeah, there's still a lot more coming, especially now with Besser status as well. He's it doesn't look like contract talks are going well there. I think that he will that'll end up moving him.
Jonas Brodin and Marcus Johansson back tonight for the Wilds. I missed that while we were on the show. And Fleury starting tonight. So kind of news that makes you want to get on the Wild and then news that makes you want to get off the Wild. So I think still nothing for myself in there. I don't know if anything changes for you here. No,
nothing changes. It's not we're still we're still in that dead zone range here for me to get involved.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, moving on to the next game where oh man, I've got some stronger opinions on, I guess you could say. Maybe another side and total bet here for me. Wings taking on the Kraken in Seattle. Wings now minus 105 in Seattle. Kraken minus 114, a total of 5.5. Minus 114 to the over, minus 106 to the under. I can't agree with anything, the way anything is priced in this game. And I maybe should. Maybe I'm just extremely stubborn here, not willing to succumb to the inevitability that is the Detroit Red Wings right now. I am so dying to. Oh, Nico Daws starting for the Devils as well. That is significant. That should help me get a good number here on Pittsburgh, that's for sure. again, I appreciate you guys in the chat. Like, to keep sending news. This is really very helpful because it's become quite tough. Without Zach leading the charge, it's been quite tough for me to try and monitor for news and goalie updates and all that stuff while we're doing this. So yeah, appreciate that stuff. So back to Detroit, Seattle. Maybe the Wings are just inevitable at this point. I can't explain how they keep winning hockey games because it really does make no sense to me. They are getting significantly outplayed every night. Talbot and Lyon look like prime Hasek and Osgood right now. They are not. We've seen them be very good in spurts before. I can promise it does not last. I can promise this will not last. I just don't know when it's going to stop is the thing. But like, this team is getting outplayed on a very consistent basis. Their wins feel extremely unsustainable. That being said, I don't love the Kraken either. I do think the Kraken are just a bad team. Like I conceptually wanted to fade the Wings, but where the numbers were earlier, there was no way I was going to be betting the Kraken. Where they're getting to now, I'm a little bit closer. That being said, I still haven't bet anything yet. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that on the side. I did bet the total though, and I bet the over 5.5 here. I just don't agree with 5.5 at all. I understand that, like, Decord and, I mean, whoever starts in net for Detroit is basically, we're getting like Hasek levels like of goaltending from them. I understand it's going to be a good goaltending matchup, but like the way both teams are playing defensively right now, there's no chance I can get behind this being a 5.5. Especially like the kind of flatter 5.5. So it was a little bit earlier. I still think it's fine right now. You can get -115 or better, widely available. That is fine for me. Both teams just giving up way too much defensively for this to be the total. It is basically an auto bet. Detroit games have been staying under. They have not deserved to be staying under. At one point, the other shoe is going to fall, and they're going to get burned because they are playing with fire on a consistent basis, and it just hasn't caught up to them yet, but it's coming. I promise it is coming, and I am on an over here. Nothing side yet, but I think that's going to come to the way we're trending right now. Where are you at in this game? Oh, you're on mute. You pulled an Albert.
There
we go.
It is a tough one. I do agree with your thoughts on the over. The court obviously makes it a little bit tough, and the Wings are getting really good goaltending. I think this is one of those games where you have a mid-range team on a heater. Just wait. They're gonna lose a bunch of games too, and we're gonna have plenty of opportunity to fade the Wings. I think let them get this heater out of their system here, and they'll we'll be back when they start losing again. But yeah, for now, I will pass on this game. Numbers tough. I would expect a better effort from Seattle. The problem is that even if you have a better effort from Seattle, how good is that right now, right?
Yeah.
How good is Seattle's ceiling? And I can't answer that question right now. So I will end up passing this game. Should be curious to see if the Wings can pull it off again.
Yeah, I hope the Wings keep taking money here because, like you said, these mid-range teams on a heater, they will start to lose eventually. You don't want to wait for them to start losing before you start betting them, though. You want to try and get onto it right before they start losing, and ride that out until the market adjusts again. Now, that being said, we're just not getting the number I would want to fade them right now. Hopefully, Detroit keeps taking money, and then we can get a cheap Seattle number, even cheaper Seattle number. If this dips below like -105, I don't think we'll see plus money at any point. But if by some chance we do, then I will jump in. I do think the Kraken are bad though. So just the over for me there. Nothing from So Money. Nothing for me in this next game. Not even really a desire to talk about it. The Habs heading into San Jose -172. Plus 142 for San Jose. Total is 6.5. Plus 104 to the over. -128 to the under. There's not much to say about this Habs team right now. They're not playing bad. They're going through what you would expect them to go through. Where like they played really well in that Jets game, and they deserved a lot better in that Jets game. Just kind of got goalied and didn't have the elite scoring talent that the Jets do to take advantage of their chances while the Jets did. That's, pretty explainable. That Wild game, they were fine. Wasn't exactly like great, but they generated enough and didn't give up all that much. Wild took their chances. Habs did not. Fleury gets a shutout of Montreal. We saw that coming. I talked about that on the show at length. Could have been, the fact that I actually didn't bet Fleury shutout and I only bet, the Wild and stuff like that. I jokingly tweeted before the game that the Habs team total should be -1.5 or should be 1.5, like -250 to the under. All I did was bet the Wild there. I didn't do anything Fleury wise, which was regrettable. But I don't think the Habs have been playing bad. That Ducks game was as low event as could possibly be. That was like just maybe one of the most boring games of the season. I had to run out of the house and turn it off with like halfway through the third. Worked out because God, it was a miserable game. I do think that I understand that there's going to be a desire to get on the Sharks maybe here at this price, but the Sharks are awful. I have no desire to bet on the Sharks team right now. They're just so bad at both ends of the ice. Now they've got some injuries and stuff too. Goaltending situation is with Askarov down is like it's a complete gong show. I don't know what you can expect from that. But I also have no desire to lay it with the Habs right now either. I do expect the Habs to win this game, but like at this price, you need them to win it quite often. And I don't necessarily agree with that either. I think the total, like my thoughts on the total are that I think the Habs need to get the offense going. They've tried to pivot to a defensive approach with Caden Gooley out of the lineup in the last couple of games. And I mean, yeah, maybe they've given up a little bit less, sure, but they've also completely sacrificed offense because of it. Now just 2 goals in their last 2 games. One of them came shorthanded. I think they're going to try and pivot here. This is a good matchup for them to try and pivot and get the big guys going again up front. Get the offense going against a Sharks team that really bleeds chances, which is kind of enough to keep me off of this under, especially with like Struble and Savard having to play significant minutes on defense. So I need to see the Habs commit also to opening things up before I'm even considering, betting it over in this spot as well, though. So I have absolutely, that's a long-winded way for me to say that I have absolutely nothing here, side or total. How about you?
Yeah, I had thoughts about the. I'm not mute right here.
You're good.
I had thoughts about the over here, but like you mentioned, I need to see the Habs kind of play a more wide open style. You would expect that to be the case against a team like San Jose, who, I mean, they will drag you into a wide open game even if you don't want to. That's just the way they play. But I did like the over. I do want to see more on Montreal. There's no way that I would be able to entertain an under in this spot, especially with the way that the Sharks play defensively. I will pass. I'll watch because it's Celebrini. But yeah, ultimately I will end up passing this game as well.
This is the Calder showdown, right? Right here.
Yeah. I guess if you want to say that.
I think it's very much locked up at this point.
It is.
Honestly, like this may be a very bold statement, but Wolf is the guy who's making me a little bit more hesitant than anything. But like I feel like absolutely. I would probably be comfortable laying, and you're getting plus 900 on Wolf, honestly. I feel like I'd be comfortable laying up to like minus 250 on Celebrini right now. And he's still like minus 165 right now on FanDuel. Take that for what you will. Last game we will get to right now. And I went to the awards section, so I missed out on the games. Here we go. Last game we have to get to the Stars in Anaheim to take on the Ducks. Ducks plus 198, Stars minus 245, total of 5.5, minus 124 to the over, plus 102 to the under. Actually, I'm very hard on the Leafs here, so I will address Zach's comment first before we get to this game. Laine has looked like shit. 5-on-5, just completely non-existent. Was benched for the third period of the Anaheim game. I think they could have benched a lot of guys in that Anaheim game, though. I think part of it is obviously attitude and effort, I guess. Part of it is the fact that he just hasn't played at all, and he looks out of shape. He looks slow. Just does not look good at 5-on-5. Yes, he's got a bomb on the power play, but that is about all he has right now. So I have not talked about it, but now I have. I'm not being biased, Zach. There you go. All right, Stars, Ducks, So Money. Do you have anything in this last game of the night?
No, can we add a plus money 6 on Columbus Buffalo under?
Columbus, Buffalo under plus money 6. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. There's even 6.5 minus 115.
Oh, that's good. Let's do that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we'll lock that in. Colorado took a bunch of money. It's not news related. I don't.
You said Columbus, right? Columbus, Buffalo.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Columbus,
sorry.
Buffalo
Colorado.
under.
So I just wanted to make sure I got that before we locked it in.
Yeah. And then Colorado took a bunch of money. It doesn't look like it's news related. Let's see how far that goes because we're into the Canucks range now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see how far that goes. If we're off the show and we get a plus 135 ish on the Canucks, that's my strike price there.
Plus 135.
Yeah. So and like that's the other thing too. Good point by Charles there. Hughes' status as well, right? So this is all dependent on Quinn Hughes. I'm obviously not going to bet the Canucks if they don't have Quinn Hughes in the lineup. It's just that nothing has come out yet. So, so that's something to keep an eye on. And then we were talking about the Dallas Anaheim game.
Yes.
I've got nothing there. I think that nothing makes sense for me. Maybe you can make the case for an under, but Dallas is one of those teams that it just depends on the way they want to play. So I will I will end up passing that game. We do need to monitor. Sorry, I'm a little distracted here because we do need to monitor the money coming into the markets. It's a 14-game slate. The games are moving, and we need to be in front of the other element to this season too is that games are moving randomly around this time, and it's not news related. So it's important to decipher if the market just moved on opinion or if it moved on news. So I feel comfortable with that. With that Columbus Buffalo under, even with it started moving, we know the reason why Pittsburgh moved. We need to understand why the Edmonton total moved and why the Canucks game moved. So those are the two things that I'll be monitoring.
Yeah. So if you guys missed that, Canucks plus 135 is the 5-point here for So Money. I am we locked in also the Blue Jackets Sabres under 6.5. I am fully in agreement with that as well, just given the Marchenko and Tage stuff. Now that Tage has been confirmed out, so I think that's a good level too. A lot happening right now for sure. I will recap the bets. Everyone send your goal scorers in the chat. In the meantime, we will throw together a quick anytime goal scorer parlay. We get out of here. We've been going for almost an hour now already. It's the nature of these big slates. So throw your anytime goal scorers in the throw your anytime goal scorers in the chat here while I recap today's best bets. And there are a lot of them, so get ready. We have the Caps plus 106, Penguins plus 130, Blue Jackets Sabres under 6.5 minus 115, Jets plus 105, Leafs Flames under 6 minus 120, Flames plus 131, Flyers plus 123, and Detroit Seattle over 5.5 minus 114. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bets today on a 14-game slate. A number of them double best bets as well. So I think a decent amount of agreement here. And it looks like you're getting pretty close to your Vancouver number as well. Take up to plus 132 now. So right about there. All right, let's put together a goal scorer parlay.
So Ron mentioned Morgan Frost. I think that's a good one. If the chat is interested in a Kent Johnson, I think that might be good.
Okay.
Depending on the price. Obviously,
Frost plus 460. I'm in. Let's lock that one in. Kent Johnson plus 270. Good with that. Let's throw that in. Yeah. Kent Johnson, Morgan Frost. You have a number to just like through here. Although I kind of would love to see this happen, to be fair, with Philippe Hedl. But let's go back. I saw Sam post earlier, and we both have a bet on the Jets. Any of these Jets players stand out, considering we are on them tonight? And, Kane's inconsistent goaltending, whatever. You agree with any of these? You want to throw one of these guys in? Ehlers is plus 290.
Probably Ehlers. Sorry?
Ehlers is plus 290, which is best price in market at FanDuel. Let's do Ehlers?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so Ehlers, Frost, Kent Johnson. We have the Cheeto one there.
Charles has someone there.
Verhaeghe.
Yeah.
We have a Hurdle, Draisaitl, and McTavish suggestions here. Jordan was going to say Kent Johnson, so we got some agreement there. Isaac Rosen on the top line.
Oh, wow.
That is, I don't think there's a number up. There's not a number up right now at least on my on screen here. Definitely one that's definitely something that it is posted or when it's posted, so we'll keep an eye on that. Anyone else? That wasn't for anytime goal scorers and Stan, but sure, whatever. He's in there now. Verhaeghe to round it out.
Yep.
Okay. Kind of go slightly against our bet tonight, but okay with it. He's not coming up on my thing. All right, there we go. We got producer in the background at least paying attention.
That's a good looking parlay.
Frost, Kent Johnson, Nikolai Ehlers, Carter Verhaeghe, 258 to 1. $10 pays you $25.85. I like it.
Why not us?
Tonight's the night. All right. That will do it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow. I believe it will be myself and Albert tomorrow for a smaller 3-game slate, and we can get into some future stock stuff like that. That'll do it for us. Appreciate everyone who tuned in today on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you get your podcast. If you take a second to like, subscribe, leave a comment, any of that stuff. That's what us. We really appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow, as always, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Until then, enjoy the games tonight, and good luck on your bets.